1536 Tyndale Bible, Hebrews, the 9th chapter. That first tabernacle verily had ordinances, and servings of God, and worldly holiness. For there was a fore tabernacle made, wherein was the candlestick and the table, and the showbread, which is called holy. But within the second veil was there a tabernacle, which is called holiest of all, which had the golden censer, and the ark of the testament overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot with manna, and Aaron's rod that sprung, and the tables of the testament. Over the ark were the cherubims of glory, shadowing the seat of grace, of which things we will not now speak particularly. When these things were thus ordained, the priests went always into the first tabernacle and executed the service of God. But into the second went the high priest alone, once every year, and not without blood, which he offered for himself, and for the ignorance of the people, wherewith the Holy Ghost thus signified that the way of holy things was not yet opened, while as yet the first tabernacle was standing, which was a similitude for the time then present, and in which were offered gifts and sacrifices that could not make the minister perfect, as pertaining to the conscience, with only meats and drinks, and divers washings and justifyings of flesh, which were ordained until the time of Reformation. But Christ, being an high priest of good things to come, came by a greater and a more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this manner building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once for all into the holy place, and found eternal redemption. For if the blood of oxen and of goats, and the ashes of an heifer, when it was sprinkled, purified the unclean, as touching the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Christ, which through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God, purge your consciences from dead works for to serve the living God? And for this cause is he the mediator of the New Testament, that through death, which chanced for the redemption of those transgressions that were in the first testament, they which were called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance. For wheresoever is a testament, there must also be the death of him that maketh the testament. For the testament taketh authority when men are dead, for it is of no value as long as he that made it is alive. For which cause also neither that first testament was ordained without blood. For when all the commandments were read of Moses to all the people, he took the blood of calves and of goats, with water and purple wool and hyssop, and sprinkled both the book and all the people, saying, This is the blood of the testament which God hath appointed unto you. Moreover, he sprinkled the tabernacle with blood also, and all the ministering vessels. And also almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission. It is then need that the similitudes of heavenly things be purified with such things. but the heavenly things themselves are purified with better sacrifices than are those. For Christ is not entered into the holy places that are made with hands, which are but similitudes of true things, but is entered into very heaven, for to appear now in the sight of God for us, not to offer himself often, as the high priest entereth into the holy place every year with strange blood, for then must he have often suffered since the world began. But now in the end of the world hath he appeared once, to put sin to flight by the offering up of himself. And as it is appointed unto men that they shall once die, and then cometh the judgment, even so Christ was once offered to take away the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear again without sin unto salvation.